Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to this tutorial. Okay, so in this, I just want to show you how we deal with functions and procedures in Python. So if you have some experience dealing with this in C++, it should be easy to just more like shift the same concept on Python. Now, I'll go straight into the topic of discussion. So here, what we are saying is, I want to talk about how to declare functions and procedures. Okay. Now, you may be familiar with some C++, how we declare function in C++. Now, in Python, if you're declaring any function, okay, you begin with a keyword def, meaning more like I'm trying to define a function. So, for example, I might define a function which I'm going to call print message. Okay, I'll call this function as print message, and then you put an open close bracket. This is a common notation for almost all languages for defining functions. Then here we say that. So I'm saying I want to define a function print message which does the following, and then I do that. So what I'm going to put here is what this function is going to be able to do. Now let me first start this. It's going to print a message. I am a procedure. Okay, that's what to show. I am a procedure. Okay, I'm a procedure. I only work in code. Okay, so I'll define the function here. Okay, pretty simple and straightforward. So I mean, this is a procedure. Okay, print message and does this stuff here. Now, do you want to run this procedure here? So more like main part of the program. We're going to say, let's put something here. We're going to say print. You say this is the main. Okay, this is from the main program. Okay, so this is going to be from the main program. So we expect to print this and to call this. Okay, so how do we call this procedure? Okay, so just get the name of the procedure, which is print message, and bring it here and say procedure. So print message. So what are we doing here? So what I'm doing here is making a call. Okay, I'm making a call to the procedure. Okay, I'm calling the procedure whose name is print message. So what do we expect if we run this? So I'll come here and try to run this and see the output. So when I say run, okay, so I get this output. So this came first, this is from the main. So the program doesn't begin executing from here or from there or there. Rather, since it has seen that this is the definition of a function, a procedure, it can't begin running from here unless there's a code to this. So the first line of code to execute is this one, line number 4. So this runs first, and then afterwards, the program goes to call the procedure here, print message. So all we are saying is pretty simple. It's definition of a function name, then whatever this is supposed to do comes following the full colon, and then this stuff comes here. Okay, straightforward, right? Now let's maybe put some more to this. What if we want this function maybe to receive some parameters? How do we do that? So I'm going to simply put the parameters. For example, I want this to receive a parameter A and perhaps another one. I'm going to call it name. So this function is going to be called and given two parameters, okay, A and D name. Okay, so what we are going to assume is we are going to say print. So to print, we say received value of A is. So wanted to show us what is the value of A received. So we're going to put that, okay, and then another one we're going to say, okay, we can put it here, just show what has been received as the name. So print, okay, say the name is, so just to show us the name, I'm going to put the name there, okay, the name is name. So the name is name, we're trying to get that. So now this time around, if you try to run this, you must be able to get an error because there are arguments required, A and the name. So what are we going to do? we'll pass the arguments, assuming that A is an integer, and then name, we're going to pass a variable like name. Okay, so I'll do that. So I'll pass this as an example parameter. Kanene. Okay. Okay, so sorry about that. Someone came into the office. Okay, so print message, and then want to pass 12 to the value of A, and then get value is going to pass to the variable name. So this time around, if we try to run this, okay, so we're able to see this received value of A is 12. Okay, that's coming from there, and then we're able to see here the name is, so this name here was passed to the function here and was displayed here. So the concept is pretty simple and straightforward. Now let's try to put in also, so this one is more like a procedure because it returns nothing, as you can see. Now what if we want to create a function? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll do this. I'll say definition, then I say, okay, show, I'll just call it show sum. Okay, so this variable, this function is going to receive two variables. We're going to call them A, B, and C. And then what will it do? So just going to say the sum is equal to say A plus B plus C. Okay, and then down here we're going to say return. Okay, we're going to say return sum. Okay, pretty much the same thing as what we see in C++. Okay, so return sum. Of course, yes, I'm aware maybe some of you are not familiar with C++, yeah, but I'm just saying the concept is the same. Okay, so return sum. So we expect this program to receive two parameters A, B, C. Okay, sum them and give the value whatever it gets to this sum and then to be returned. So let's call the function now. How can we do that? Let's just declare a variable here. Okay, just go into total, and then total is equal to, we're going to say show sum. Then A will pass the value of A as 10, then pass another value as 13, then the other value is going to pass as 15. Okay, 15, and then let's see what happens. So we are passing this to total. So total is going to be given whatever is going to be returned by this function. So that when we say print total, okay, what's going to happen is we are going to see the value, okay, of total being printed. So let's run this now. Our focus is not on these other things, but just on this function here. So let's run this. What are we going to get? Okay, see, we have got here this being printed, the 55 here. So what happened is the total gave show sum was called with these values, and then these were passed to ABC, and then sum returned this ABC, and that is what was returned and given to the variable total here. And when we say print total, we print the value 55, which is returned by that. Okay, so the concept about function, so this is the function, this is the procedure. So what we can say here is here, this is we're making calling, sorry, the comment here is this. So here we're calling a function which we have named as show sum. Okay. We can do more. Okay, let's assume that we've got, let's try to let someone enter this value. Okay, let's do this. Let's go number one. Okay, number one is going to be gotten by the input. So say input. So tell someone enter first number. Okay, want someone to enter the first number. So it shouldn't be there. Number two is going to be say input. So tell someone to enter second number. Okay, another one. We'll call it number three. We tell someone, so say input. Prompt there is going to be enter third number, and we do this. Okay, So what are we going to do with these numbers now? Let's convert all these numbers. Okay, we say number 1. Okay, number 1 is going to be, so let's convert this into integer. So we say int and then convert number 1 there. Okay, do the same thing for the rest of this. So well, I might as well even copy this. I'll just modify this to 3, this one to 2, this one 2. Okay, then after this now, so I've converted all my numbers into integers from string. So what am I going to do next? Let me now show someone the sum of these numbers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll say print, then I'll say the sum of these numbers is. So now outside here, I'm going to call the function show sum. I'm going to say this is show sum. Then on the parameters a, b, c, I'm going to pass the number 1, the first number I had, and then I also pass the next number here 2, and I also going to pass the next number here, which is 3. So I'm calling show sum and giving it these values after converting them into integers, so that it can sum them, return the sum, and print it out for me as part of this statement here. So what are we going to see here? So if we come here, sorry, I'm going out of the recording zone. Okay, so I'm going to come to run, and then I run this code here. Okay, so after all this stuff here up, so we see this, then I'm going to put the code here. I'm going to enter the numbers here. Okay, the first number is that, next number I'll put that, next number I'll put, okay, that, and then I run this. What do I see? Okay, the sum of these numbers is 88. So how am I getting this? So these variables, okay, these variables were gotten and passed to the variable show sum, into the function show sum, and then it summed them and returned and printed for me the output there. So we're able to see the input here, able to see input here coming from able to print a value from a function right in a print, okay, function. At the same time, we can also be able to use we can call this function in an if statement. For example, it's possible to say if, and then I can say show sum. If now I'm going to pick I'll pick my number 3, I'll pick my number 1. Okay, and then here I can put my own value if I want. Okay, so I'm going to say if this is greater than 100. Okay, then what am I going to say? I'll print something like big numbers. Okay, just like that. That's as simple as that. Then I'll say else. Then I'll say I'll print the text small numbers like that. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm now making use of I'm trying to I've put an if statement here. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I don't need this. Okay, so here I'm saying if I call show sum and give it the value of the number 3, the number 1, and the negative 50, if what it gets is more than 100, then print this, otherwise print that. So that's an example of a function being called in an if statement. Okay, so here we'll repeat the same. So running this program, enter these values, that. Okay, and then the sum of this is that, and then she has small numbers. So obviously it's because when it took the number 3, the number 1, and then the negative 50, the sum it got was less than 100, and then we get this text here, small numbers. So this basically outlines, the very few basics of what is required for you to be able to deal with, functions and procedures. Now, you may know the concept of local and global variables. Okay, so we're going to try and look at the global and local variables in the next video, just to demonstrate the concept more properly. Okay, see you.